This shark is completely weird and somewhat adorable. But once he learned that Bloop had eaten his true love, he set out to find and eat Bloop. Even stranger is that Tralalero Tralala is wearing shoes. Yes, shoes. And yet somehow this makes him a better walker and a better swimmer in the sea. With these sharp teeth of his, this creature is a worthy competitor for Bloop. It all began one day when Bloop ate the shark's girlfriend. You might have heard the name Bloop before, a giant, terrifying sea monster that lives far below the ocean. You'd be surprised as, at first glance, Bloop doesn't appear that powerful or dangerous. But all of that changes when he's under threat. When that happens, he opens his mouth wide and swallows up anything that stands in his way. When Tralalero Tralala found out that his sweetheart had been eaten by a dreadful monster, he was enraged. He slipped on his shoes and went chasing after Bloop. But this was not a job that was going to be easy. In order to reach where Bloop resided, Tralalero had to pass through dark, treacherous routes beneath the sea. On his journey, he came across creatures he did not even know existed, glowing fish, weird tentacled creatures, and even jellyfish that illuminated the way with sparks from their bodies. In spite of his silly looks, Tralala was very courageous. He smashed through each barrier with his pointed teeth and went ahead. On his way, he once encountered a wise old fish, Master Fang. Master Fang advised him, to beat Bloop, strength alone won't do. You need to have a strong heart as well. Tralala faltered. Was this about revenge then, or was love worth fighting for? He resolved to continue, not for revenge now, but to guard what he really loved. At last, when he arrived at Bloop's gloomy cave, he perceived odd sounds, low, loud breaths emanating from within. Tralala hesitated for a moment, took a deep breath himself, and dashed in with all his might. For the first time, he laid eyes on Bloop. Bloop gazed at him and chuckled. So you also came here to be eaten? But Tralala refused and answered, No, I've come to reclaim what's mine. A fierce battle broke out. The sea shook with their clash. Waves rose and crashed, fish scattered, and shells snapped shut. In the end, Tralala used his speed and cleverness to gain the upper hand over Bloop. He sank those sharp teeth into his tail and sent Bloop running. After that, Tralala was not only a hero, he was a sea legend, the sole shark to wear shoes and battle for love. You may have heard the name Bloop before. A sea monster, enormous in size, but not really all that scary at first sight. You may be thinking it's just another stupid creature, harmless even, but all of that changes when this creature is threatened. That's when you're no longer dealing with an ordinary Bloop. That's when venom comes into the equation. When venom combines with Bloop, what you have now isn't a monster anymore. It's a credible menace to anything moving in the water. A huge mouth, razor-sharp teeth, more developed than anything you've ever encountered. A strong tail capable of killing enemies with a single swipe. This creature doesn't think twice. It doesn't retreat. Now, it is the threat. However, let us discuss Ningen. Ningen is another sea monster, and it's one you've never laid your eyes on before. This monstrosity of a humanoid stands taller than average, with long, thin arms and enormous ghostly eyes. It lives in the deepest, remotest parts of the ocean, and the very fact that it does is terrifying. Ningen is not a predator. It's a hunter. It kills for fun. It takes whatever it desires in those long, deadly arms and swallows it whole. Not something you'd want to encounter. It's fast. It's merciless. and it never misses its target. But here's the catch. Ningen has never seen anything like Venom Bloop. Venom Bloop isn't just some arbitrary monster, it's the transformation of a creature pushed beyond its breaking point. When Bloop merged with Venom, it not only grew more powerful, it became purposeful. It became vengeful. Venom Bloop isn't this giant sea monster anymore, it's a tool. It's constructed for combat in every possible manner. Its large, fleshy tail is not merely for balance. Ningen tries to fight back, but it's slower now. It's injured. It underestimated Venom Bloop. The very same thing it was so proud of, the fact that it could hunt, that it could eat, is its own downfall. Venom Bloop doesn't fight to live. It fights to win. It fights with the intensity of a creature that's been cornered, that's been forced into the role of defender. It doesn't want to fight, but it won't lose. It won't be eaten. What instills Venom Bloop with a sense of real horror is that it has no desire to conquer or rule. It simply wants to defend itself. And anything which threatens that is met swift and ruthless resistance. Its power isn't for show, it's for survival, it's for revenge. This isn't a battle of strength. This is a battle of pride and survival. Venom Bloop is battling for its life, its pride. You back a creature like that into a corner, and it won't just fight back. It'll make the other guy know who's boss around here.